I have something new here. This is from SLR Magic at 8mm f4, and I wanted to do a review on this lens. It's a brand new lens from them, and this is the way it comes packaged. You have to pull one box out of the other box, or just open it like so and pull out our little lens. And look at the lens. It is a very small lens. It's 8mm, so it's very wide. And here it is. 8mm f4 from SLR Magic. They have this extra ring on here for 52mm filters, which is easier for neutral density and things. But if you notice, the glass sticks out if I remove this filter, so you definitely want to keep it on there. But you could use smaller it would be very difficult to use a smaller filter on there because it would hit the glass. So not exactly sure why they actually have these small 43mm filter size when, as you can see, the glass is quite curved. This lens is, as I said, is very small, and it focuses differently than any other lens I've ever owned, because you have to unlock the lens in order to focus it, and then you turn it, right, and then lock it. And that's because it's a manual lens, and because this lens, I think, is primarily designed for remote usage, like on a drone, versus on a regular camera, which will be the way I'll be using it. The aperture also has no click stops whatsoever, so it's designed for video. So again, I think this was designed for a drone. It uses the Micro Four Thirds format, which will work on all my cameras. To show you a size comparison, here's my 7-14 from Panasonic. It's considerably bigger and heavier and has a much more bigger front. This has been a great lens, the 7-14, and very versatile and fully automatic, unlike this lens, which is fully manual. Again, I think it's designed more for a drone than for regular still photography, but I like it because of its size. It's really small. It's easy to throw into a bag. It's very well built. I mean, it's all metal. Doesn't feel like plastic at all. It feels like metal. And we'll show it onto a couple of cameras now. To show its very small size, here it is on my GH4. Considerably smaller than the camera. And I think it's going to be kind of fun to have such a tiny lens in my kit. Now we'll take it off the GH4 and put it on my Olympus OMD M5 Mark II. On this size camera, it looks a little more the right size, because this is certainly a smaller camera than the GH4. A much lighter camera too. So this makes a very lightweight little kit. And that's what I was hoping for. I'll have to set the image stabilizer for 8mm to use the IS on the Olympus. Here it is on my GM1, which is my smallest camera. On this camera it looks quite nice, and certainly does not add to the weight of the camera at all, because the lens does not weigh a lot at all. Again, the way you do the focus here is you unlock the lens and then turn the ring. As you can see, the whole front element turns, so this would not work well with polarizers. But then you would set it and lock it and then set your polarizer if you were to use a polarizer on this camera. But more than likely it'll be used with neutral density filters, because I can say that this is primarily designed for video, but it could be a still guy lens if you want just a very small, very lightweight lens in your kit. It is very small. As you can see, this is with the tiniest lens I have before buying this lens is the lens for my GM1. They're about the same weight. Maybe a tiny bit heavier because this is all metal versus plastic on this lens. But I usually don't carry my 7-14 Lumix because it adds a fair amount of weight to my bag and size, because I like to keep a small bag. And compared to my 12mm Olympus lens, you can see that it's a little longer, but the Olympus is certainly fatter, and that's probably because of the autofocus and the clutch focusing mechanism of the lens, and of course being an auto lens versus a manual lens. Glass is about the same size, and the weight is about the same size. So this is a lens, the Olympus is one I like to carry a lot because it does not weigh a lot, especially if I'm going to be carrying just primes like my 45 Olympus, like an EM5 kit. So I suspect that this will be added to my EM5 kit as a lightweight wide angle. One lens I like to carry in my bag is the Rokinon fisheye. And you can see that the Rokinon fisheye is of similar construction. They're both manual lenses, but considerably wider. Glass looks about the same, but considerably wider, the Rokinon fisheye. And the focal lengths are very similar, being 7.5 and 8mm respectively, and about the same aperture, 3.5 versus 4. So this lens may replace my Rokinon if I don't want to carry a fisheye and have a rectilinear lens in my bag, because they're about the same size and about the same weight. And both are nice lenses. Rokinon definitely has some plastic on it. The lens shade is definitely plastic, and the focus ring may be as well, but this is all metal. The lens feels really good in the hand because of that. And I like its construction, and I like how they protected the rear glass, because it does stick out the rear of the mount. So I'm very pleased that they protected that nicely with this ring. Overall, it feels like a very nice lens, and I can't wait to take some pictures with it and shoot some video. That is the SLR Magic f4 8mm lens.